In the 1930s, we started using this absolutely revolutionary product. This product was fireproof, it was soundproof, it was resistant to chemicals, it was readily available, it was super durable, it had a great R value, so we used it in everything for about 50 years. Until we found out that it kills us. I'm talking about asbestos. Now, it would be really convenient for us to think there's nothing in our homes today that are anywhere as dangerous as some of the chemicals from the past. For example, lead and asbestos. I think that view is naive though. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 5 products that are in your home that might be killing you. The first item on our list is PVC pipes. PVC is the white pipes that if you look under your sink or you look down in your basement, a lot of times you're gonna see your big sewer drain pipes made out of it. And depending on when your house is from, you may also see your water supply lines from it. So we have 2 main concerns with PVC pipes. PVC stands for polyvinyl chloride. The V and the C, the vinyl chloride, is the most concerning part of it for our drinking water. Vinyl chloride is a known human carcinogen. In the reaction that takes place to create the PVC, most of the vinyl chloride gets used up, so you don't have to worry about it. But since most reactions are not totally perfect, there's going to be some gas still stuck inside the plastic of the pipe that over time is going to leach out into your water supply, especially if you're running hot water. Everything breaks down over time as water runs over it. So after years and years of water running over your PVC pipes, you can expect that whatever nasty chemicals are inside of those pipes, they're going to wind up in the water that you're drinking, you're cooking, and that you're bathing with. But the vinyl chloride gas is just one part of the problem with PVC. The next thing we need to worry about is phthalates. Phthalates are a plasticizer. Essentially, a plasticizer is something that allows a plastic like PVC to be more bendy, more flexible, and it's used in virtually all types of PVC. Phthalates are known endocrine disruptors. That essentially means they mess with your body's hormones. These glands and hormones pretty much control all parts of our bodies. They control our sex drive, they control our mood, they control our energy. Since I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to try to break down any further what an endocrine disruptor does to you, but you don't want that system in your body being disrupted. So phthalates are bad, and they are going to off-gas from your PVC pipes. So they're also going to get inside your water. It's not great. If you're thinking, well, I have copper supply lines, but my drain lines are PVC, I would say that's much, much better, but keep in mind, these phthalates used to make your PVC more flexible don't permanently become part of the PVC. So over time, they're going to off-gas and they're going to enter your house one way or another, whether that's through the water or whether that's just the air around the pipe that they're entering. So today, we don't use a whole lot of PVC for our water supply lines, at least inside of traditional homes. We're mostly using PEX, which is the flexible red and blue pipes that maybe you've seen in your basement if you have a newer home. The PVC hasn't been used that heavily for water supply in probably the past 15 to 20 years. But the older the PVC it is, the more you should be concerned about it. And especially if it's the old Chinese PVC. It was very toxic. You don't want to be drinking that. So if your drains are made out of PVC, I don't think you need to worry too much about that. But if you've got your water supply lines made from PVC, I think this is a great place to invest in either PEX if you want to go cheaper. I do think we're going to find with time that copper is the best and healthiest way to be drinking your water, because PEX, at the end of the day, well, it might not have some of the same toxins as PVC. It is plastic piping, and plastic has its downsides. This brings us to item number 2, LVP. Luxury vinyl plank. Now, there is absolutely nothing luxury about plastic flooring, but it's a good marketing term, I guess. A lot of the problems with LVP actually overlap with PVC, except you're not drinking the water off of your LVP floor, right? But you do have a bunch of phthalates in it, because guess what? PVC is one of the biggest ingredients of LVP floors. I don't know if you've lived in a house with LVP or not, or lived in an apartment with LVP. I've lived in some of these places for years. And when you come in for the first time, you can smell it. It's very strong. There's this very plasticky smell. But what happens is you get used to it. You know, you come in every day, that's just what your house smells like. But if you leave for a trip and you come back a week later, a lot of times you can still smell it and you'll realize that, okay, well, the smell is actually still here. It hasn't gone away. These phthalates off-gas for a really long time into your home. It can be years. Most of it probably takes place in the original few months after the floor is installed. But just from my own experience, I can tell you I can still smell them after they've been installed for quite some time. And if your nose can still pick them up, you can pretty much guarantee they're releasing chemicals into the air, because that's what smell is. It's particles being suspended in the air and your nose is taking them in and picking up that odor. So we already covered what the phthalates are that are in LVP that are going to off gas into your home, but we also have two other things we need to think about. There's oftentimes glues inside of LVP, and these glues contain VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. These essentially are things that are bad for you. And a lot of times people think this is the only thing they need to worry about inside of a product is the VOC level. It's not, but VOCs are not good for you. Now, the good news about VOCs is they do generally off gas and pretty much go away over time, but it depends on the product. Well, the highest levels are going to be in the first few weeks. A lot of times, small amounts will remain for months to years after an LVP floor is installed. And the last thing we need to keep in mind is that anything underfoot in our home, we're going to wear it down. We're going to break it down. So microplastics have been talked about a lot over the past few years. And LVP is plastic, guys. It's just thick plastic. And over time, you're going to break that down, and all those little plastic particles are going to be entering the air and entering everything inside of your home. The good news is that there's a bunch of other flooring options we can get besides LVP. LVP is cheap. It's going to be cheaper than a lot of your other options, but for me, the price of health is just worth so much more than the price of a cheap floor. So you can go with hardwood, you can go with tile. You can find some healthier versions of LVPs as well. If you want to go look around, expect to pay a little bit more for them. But I don't think even these products are going to get you away from all of the concerns. And if you want something that's pretty cheap, you can actually go with real linoleum. So not vinyl, but real linoleum, which is made from linseed oil. Unfortunately, the PVC in our houses goes way beyond just the flooring and the pipes. If you've got vinyl windows on your house, those are made from PVC. If you've got any type of plastic trim in your house, which you might and just not know it, it's made from PVC. If you got vinyl siding, it's made from PVC. Now this is on the outside of your house, so it's probably not as big of a deal. But for all of these things, we have alternative products that are much healthier to be around. And I'm going to go ahead and make a PDF list with alternatives that I'll link down below. You can go download it for free and see what are the things that you could be using to build with that are much healthier alternatives. And a lot of these things do come with a higher price tag, but not all of them. Number 3, guys, is MDF, medium density fiberboard. This is essentially ground up wood particle mixed with urea formaldehyde glue. And the big problem with this is that urea formaldehyde, it is bad for you. Formaldehyde is a known human carcinogen. Again, you can see this pattern here. We fill our houses with known human carcinogens. And where you're gonna find this MDF is a lot of you guys, you've got it all through your trim. MDF trim is super cheap compared to real wood, and it looks the same if it's, you know, painted up nicely, but it breaks down really easy. Let's say your dog pees on it or you have a little flood, you're gonna see it, you know, swell up like a piece of cardboard. It's disgusting. It's an absolutely garbage product, even apart from the health risks. So I would never, ever, ever use this in my trim. But it's also found in other areas where you may not expect it. For example, if you have cabinets that are a little bit on the lower end, a lot of times they're not made with plywood. They're made from MDF. And it's not the faces we're talking about. Your faces won't be made from MDF generally. It's all of the panels inside, all your shelving, all the side pieces, those are going to be made from MDF. A lot of times your bathroom vanity, made from MDF. If you have Formica countertops, those are pretty much MDF with a layer of plastic over top. And what happens with this MDF is that the formaldehyde glue off-gases over time. So it's not an amount that you're going to be able to notice with your nose, I can almost guarantee it, unless the thing was just installed, then you might be able to notice it. But that there's just little bits of that formaldehyde that are off-gassing, that are polluting the air inside of your home, and you're breathing it in. So avoiding formaldehyde completely in your building process is going to be very difficult, but we can do a few basic things to get away from it. It's number one, we're going to go with real wood trim, all right? MDF, like I said, garbage product. You don't want it for durability and resale, let alone the health costs. As far as your cabinets go, you can get plywood cabinets at a reasonable rate. Now, your plywood may still be glued together with formaldehyde, but it's going to be way less glue than what's used in an MDF, because remember, MDF is pretty much just like sawdust all glued together. That takes a lot of glue. That you can go a step further and you can do types of plywood that actually have no formaldehyde in them at all, and that would be the best option. But if you can just do plywood instead and leave it at that, that would be a great step in the right direction. So unfortunately, formaldehyde glues are found throughout all sorts of building products. I don't think being able to avoid them altogether is reasonable for most people, but if you could avoid them in some of the biggest items in your home, like the trim and the cabinets, that'd be a great step in the right direction. Number 4 is spray foam. Spray foam insulation is a super green product because it has a great R value. It air seals if you've got a closed cell, which I think is what most people are using. And it's definitely going to reduce your heating bill. There are two things that are really not good about spray foam. One is that it contains isocyanates. Isocyanates are bad news. They can cause lung, skin, eye, irritant problems. They can lead to asthma problems, and some of these things don't go away if exposed for too long. So you can have permanent lung damage, and it can be a really nasty chemical to be around. And the thing about these isocyanates is that they off-gas for months and even years, and sometimes the product never even fully cures. They're not a known carcinogen, but they can cause asthma-like symptoms, damaging your lungs and your respiratory system. They can irritate your eyes, irritate your skin. They can actually trigger asthma for people who do have it. And in some cases, exposure can lead to severe allergic-like reactions. So while it's not labeled a carcinogen, it is classified as highly toxic by OSHA. There is a second concern with spray foam as well, and that is mold development. With closed cell foam, you're blocking the penetration from any moisture. And a lot of times what can happen is, we spray the wall full of it and it seals everything off perfectly. So when a leak develops in your wall, you don't know about it because all of that moisture is trapped to the outside. So what happens when water gets in a space where it can't evaporate? Mold grows, rot starts to happen. So it can lead to mold problems in your house as well, which we all know mold is not good to be around. So to get away from some of the problems of spray foam, you might lose a little bit of your energy efficiency, but you can make up with this by really good air sealing on the outside of your home. And you can also do exterior insulation that I think is an awesome way to do it as well. If you're just going to do standard insulation in the wall cavities, you can do mineral wool, or if you want to really go healthy, you can do like a sheep's wool or a wood fiber. Spray foam is already a very high cost product, so you can do some of these other healthier options for about the same price. Number 5 on our list is our conventional paints and primers that you're gonna get from your Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, etc. These paints don't have full ingredient lists, and while some of them may be low VOC, which is good, they still can have a lot of toxins in them that are not good for you. And beyond that, a lot of times a 0 VOC paint refers only to the base of the paint before the tint color is added in. So when that tint color is added in, it adds VOCs right back into your product. So to give you an idea of some of the toxins found in paints, I'm just gonna read this off of ChatGPT, so you know I'm not making it up, all right? Bare Premium Plus has glycol ethers, formaldehyde preservatives, and ethylene glycol. Sherwin-Williams Promar 200, formaldehyde releasing biocides, ammonia, acetone, glycol ethers. Valspar Ultra, a lot of the same things in it. Benjamin Moore Regal Select, glycol ethers, ethylene glycol, biocides. The preservatives are added to prevent bacteria growth, but they're linked to skin irritation, allergies, and neurotoxicity. The glycol ethers, they're used for smooth finish and drying. They make it easy to use, but they disrupt hormones and irritate the lungs. Ammonia is used for pH balance, but it causes throat and eye irritation. Formaldehyde, it extends the shelf life, but it is a known carcinogen. We covered that earlier. The solvents, acetone, xylene, found in primers, oil-based paints, and spray paints, they're highly toxic to the brain and liver. And those solvents are where most of your VOCs are going to come from. So there is safe alternatives. You've got Safe Coat, you've got BioShield, and there's a number of other brands. But I'll take all of the alternative products and put it in that PDF, and you can get it in the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel.